Hey everyone, Max at 343 Labs here. We're a music production school based in New York City, Berlin, and online. And today I'd like to show you a clip by one of our instructors, Justin Beck, where he explains mid-side processing and how this can help make your tracks sound wider. Now this clip is taken from 343 TV, which airs right here on our YouTube channel and airs several days per week. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe below, and let's get into it.
These days, all professional music, right, sounds really huge. And you can go back in time across history and still find a lot of tracks that sound really big. But, you know, these days, it's kind of a prerequisite that your tracks need to be massive. Otherwise, they're not really going to be very competitive. So, first thing is I am going to put some reverb on it, right? And let's listen to what happens when I put reverb on it, right? I'm going to use some of my own reverb today. I don't want to use Ableton's reverb. So there's a great ambient reverb that I like, a setting from Slate Digital, and it is the Taj Mahal reverb setting. Always forget where it is. There we go. This is a huge, huge reverb. So this dials in vibe like immediately, right? But now there's something very important to talk about that it also does, right? So first of all, let's just listen. We have a center image right now, right? When I turn on this reverb, all of a sudden becomes really wide, which is cool, right? However, we have to talk about what is happening out wide. So I'm gonna throw on the EQ8, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll off, filter out everything to about 500 hertz. Okay, so what you can start hearing, right, is what's happening out wide, which is just getting really thick in a nice way. So let's actually do this differently. I'm going to put it in mid-side mode, and I'm going to reduce only the middle. All right. So that's our wide image right now. So we currently have one track that is taking up pretty much total ambient space in the low mids. Right, we'll just call those the mids. Decent amount, though, of action in this kind of like 500-y area. Now, when I start introducing the middle back, right, we hear that we get a little bit of the weight of the pluck, which is a good thing. We like that, right? Makes it sound musical. Then, of course, we're getting that low mid, right? So now what's happening is we are getting a really big signal, right? So one of the very first things we have to talk about with width is this range right here. This area from 200 to 500, pretty much, you know, maybe a little bit higher, 250 to 800 or so. This area is really going to be where your track is going to get wider or be bogged down and not get wide enough. One of the reasons for that is that almost every sound flows through this area, and as this area gets more clogged, particularly with things that are of similar rhythmic value and things that are of in similar frequency ranges, like fundamentally, then it's going to start becoming harder and harder to distinguish wide from center. So I want you to notice that when I take away the low information in the middle, up to 271, okay, that the track, we have one sound, the sound is going to significantly get wider. You're going to hear it out wide more. All right, so ready? Here we go. Whoa, all of a sudden, right, we have serious separation between the middle and the outside. So I want you to listen to how we lose that when I add the low end back in the middle. Right, so right now we just have this beautiful, it's nice, this big chunk, right? And when I click, now we have something much more manageable. It takes up much less space, right? Now, similarly, I'm going to do the opposite thing. I'm going to high pass the wide frequencies. Right? And so now we lose a significant amount of the width. So, one of the very first things you have to do, but we don't lose the vibe, right? We just lose the width. That's all. What we're losing is the like that deep stuff. The pillow, so to speak. Right? Stuff that's sounding like that. So one of the very first things I recommend that you do when you are building a track, right, especially if you're using reverb or using a big sound, right, is think about, do I want the emphasis on this sound to be the center or out wide, right? Because the thing is, I can already tell you that this sound alone is going to make it is going to create masking with low frequencies, right? There's too much low, mid, and low frequency information distributed in the stereo field. You can have low information out wide. Anyone who tells you that you can't is just incorrect. But the thing is that if you have competing low information out wide in the middle, you're actually going to lose width, right? So low frequencies are going to drag down the ability for this sound to disperse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this high pass filter right about there and only cut the middle frequencies, right? And so here, it doesn't really change anything in terms of the sound, right? But it makes it wider. That little bit of heaviness down here, right? Which if I were to boost it, right, would also suck in the center a little bit, right? We lose a little bit of width as I do that. You hear when I let go that it releases, right? So all I'm going to do is just get rid of that information. That's my starting point, right? Okay. So I like this sound as just a starting sound. So again, just to recap, right? Really important thing to do is if you have a sound that is kind of splayed across the stereo field, right? It has center information and wide information, like this sound, right? And it's something you download from Splice or something you create yourself, whatever it is, right? You have to make a decision. If it has any amount of low frequency content, do I want that low frequency content in the center or out wide? So I'm choosing out wide because I want it to be pillowy and have that weight.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget 343 TV goes live right here on our YouTube channel several days per week. And if you want to take a course with us or just join our community, you can find more information at 343labs.com or 343labs.de for our German website. See you next time.